characteristics of life. So cell is the first one we're going to talk about. All living things have at least one cell. That's really important. You don't have to have a million cells to be a living organism. Things like bacteria, they typically just have one cell. So as long as you have a cell, you are alive. You have the ability to have life. As long as your cell is working, functioning properly, and your cell is living, then that being is living. So if that cell that makes up that bacterium is living, then that bacterium is a living organism. It's alive. And write this down. This is the simplest definition I can give you. This is typically the definition you will see in most science textbooks, too, at any level. A cell is the smallest unit of life. It is the building block of life. It is the smallest unit that retains the property of life. Those are basically the definitions you will see for your throughout your life in any kind of biology textbook. So if you have a cell, again, you are a living thing. So it doesn't matter if you're made up of one cell or many cells. If you have a cell and that's all you need to do all the functions that you as that organism needs to do, then you are a living being. And remember, if you need to go back and pause this or rewind, feel free to do that. So something that goes with cells is this little side note here I like to talk about because I found that a lot of my students are confused about this when they come to me. Living, non-living, and dead. Write this down. This is not a characteristic of life, obviously, because we're talking about non-living things. But this is just something that goes along with life and with cells that confuses people that I like to address. So, if you are living, you have live cells. So, your cells that are in your body are working, they are doing their jobs. Whether you have one cell or a million cells, those cells are working. You are alive. If you are non living, you have no cells. You never had cells, you never will have cells, you have no cells if you are non living. If you have to have a cell to be alive, to be a living thing, so if you have cells, you are living. If you have never had cells, you're called non living. Now, if you have cells and they don't work anymore, you are dead. So dead means you have dead cells. So you had cells at one point, you still have cells, and at one point they worked, but now they don't. The cells are dead. Then that is a dead organism. That is so important. Okay? Anything that has cells is either living or dead. It's not non-living. Non-living is not alive. It was never alive. You don't have cells. That's how we are going to classify things this year. And with that, I like to think about it this way too. Write this down if you want to. Living is alive. Non-living was never alive. Dead was alive. That's just a quick way to remember it. And some examples: living would be a fish. Non-living would be the sun. Doesn't have cells. Dead would be a fallen leaf. So leaves do have cells, and leaves were alive when they were on the tree, but if it falls, then it's not going to have a source to give it life anymore, so those cells are going to die. All right, so that is all that we will talk about for this section of notes, just cells and the difference in living, non-living, and dead organisms, or things, I guess. If you're non-living, you're not an organism. But if you have any questions about these notes, please let me know, and I will help you out as much as I can. And we will work on the next set of notes in the next video. Hope to see you guys soon.